Yeah.
We are live.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the UBports Community Q&A and Update for April 29th, 2017. My name is Dalton Durst, and from the community team. Joining me this week are Jan from the community team
Hello.
and Marius from the developer team.
Hello.
All right. So, we've got quite a few things to talk about today and quite a few questions coming in from the community. Anyone who is currently in the Telegram, if you want to send a question our way, just do it and we will get to you when we are there. All right. So, what's been going on in the development team this week, Marius? These 2 weeks.
Well, in the development team, the first thing that comes to mind is the preparation for 1604 on most of the devices. We are also preparation for creating our own rootfs, also our own root file system, so it's not built by Canonical anymore. Before they was built by Canonical, but Canonical stopped building them, so now we are forced to build it ourselves. We got our successful build images yesterday, I think it was. It was quite a task to get that working because most of the scripts was outdated and old, and that was not made for 1604. So we had to upgrade them and also make them work on a server. And even our server got 2 new build server, one new or 2 new ARM server that's running in build mode, and these 2 servers are also gonna help build the other things that's around that's built on ARM, like Unity 8 and all those stuff that eventually we will need to build ourselves.
All right, so we won't have to worry about cross-compiling.
Nope, no cross-compiling.
Right.
And also, one of the good things that happened in the development team has been there's been a lot of discussion in there to create roadmaps and also use Trello more actively. They more actively using it and writing stuff on there that needs to be done, and also at the same time you can follow the progress on Trello. Most of the boards, I think all of them are open, so anyone can just go and take a look. And also, one of the other things that been happening is we in the preparation of launching new website, and also so lots of stuff have been going on in the development team.
All right, I'm going to piggyback off of that, launching the new website. And Jan, what's happening in the community team this week?
Yeah. This is not really especially community team specific, but we have now a little clarification on Canonical's end of life dates. I think there was a leak that we'll have security fixes until the end of June, and the Clickstore will stay in business until end of 2017. So it's not a huge amount of pressure, but we'll have to get our images out before, basically this month. And the Clickstore will stay around for now, so we'll probably be able to keep it in our first images. So that's pretty cool. Then, okay. Another pretty cool thing that happened is that our Patreon just passed $600 per month. A huge thank you to everybody who's supporting us there. So it helps a lot. Yeah, that really helps a lot. Like financing the service Marius just talked about, and it's a huge step in making UBports sustainable.
You bet, and that will be exactly what we need. So, with that, do we have any other news that we want to cover, Marius?
I think we got most of the news. out. There is still some stuff that's going on with Mir and ongoing discussion on how we should handle that situation. But none of them are final yet. There's still discussion and still we are still unsure about those stuff. I have been working myself on making Mir a Wayland client, and that's not 100% working. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
All right, awesome. So I guess we can jump right into the questions then. So some of these have been coming in from the forum, as some anywhere else we've collected them over the past couple of weeks. And Telegram now, I don't see anything there yet, but so I think we should begin with something that we've been asked a lot, just around the community in the past, ever since it was announced. What's going on with the station dock? We need to cover this.
Right. Yeah, with the station dock, there has been a lot of problem with hardware manufacturer trying to get contacts in China. I had some contacts in China. That was some guys that wanted to make this, but I never heard from them. They was going to send me a prototype, but nothing happened. Never got any response from them back, and never got any prototype. So that's pretty sad. Those were the ones that was the plan to use. If the plans with them had gone right, it would be already be in our Kickstarter here, because everything is finished with the Kickstarter, with the text. The software is nearly finished, and all those kind of things. The only thing that's missing is the hardware. And finding someone to make it, because we need to be perfectly sure that there is a hardware manufacturer before we go to Kickstarter. Because that's really important to have a prototype and also something you can show up. And we want to come to that stage where we can say, here is something we have. This is what needs to be done, and it's just the final step, that is the hardware manufacturing or mass producing that's needing. So for that, I'm still working on looking around for new China manufacturer. If that doesn't happen, we might just open source the code and release it, the instruction and everything on how to install it on your Raspberry Pi, and you can do it yourself.
All right, but of course that's not a terribly high priority for us right now. That is getting stable builds out the door.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to jump into that. We do have more questions from the forum, but we did just get the question from Telegram. What about the stable builds? We did say that we were going to have builds out before tomorrow. So one thing that we will have to do in the future is tell the community when we are and are not going to be able to meet deadlines like that. And in this case, we are not. We are still running through trying to hit all of the bugs that we have before we release. Well, not all of the bugs, but all the targeted bugs for our next stable release before we put them out the door. Otherwise, it just won't be good for people who expect a stable release from us. So
Right.
If you're interested in that, you can go to our Launchpad pages, and I will link those in the video description. I'll write myself a to-do right here, and you can find those there.
Right. With that deadline, there is some special, like the Unity 8 news is definitely what put it off.
Right. That's why we didn't hit the deadline, because Canonical dropped everything that we're doing.
Yeah. Everything just flipped around, and yeah, that's. I hope everyone see why that happened, but yeah.
All right. Jan, can you take the next question, please?
Yeah, I think we already covered that. I think half of it. The thing is, what will happen to the click store? Will that go away. We already said it will stay open until the end of 2017, so it might stay in at least in the builds of the legacy branch. But Marius, do you have some insights on that?
Not more. On the canonical side of things, I don't have anything more than the end of December or the end of this year. But from our side, we are planning to use the open store actively, and have the open store as our main store. And we plan to get that in pretty quickly so people can start publishing app. But you still will have the old store. There will be two of them, but so you still have the options. So the developer have option to publish their apps to the store, and that's the plan of it.
So we'll have a seamless transition there.
Yeah, hopefully it will be as seamlessly as possible.
Okay, great.
All right, let's see what we have for our next question here. One thing we've been seeing a lot is when will I be able to reflash my phone? So I assume this is from people asking for stable device or the already supported canonical devices. We should explain a little bit about what legacy is as well, following up.
Right, I can start with legacy mode. I think that's a bit confusing. But what I mean with legacy mode is the device will stay on kind of a life raft, where the device, it's not, when Canonical plugs the plug, it won't sync. We have this life raft where we will keep having the device working. We keep providing apps to it. For example, we implement open store into it, and also maybe fix, but this is not something we can promise because of time, but maybe fix some bugs on it. But also one of the biggest thing is allowing developers to fix bugs on their devices. For example, if someone uses the PQ and they find a bug on it, they can publish their bug fixes. Instead of fixing them on their own devices, they can send the bug fixes to send a git pull request or something like that, and it will get into the images instead of getting lost, for example. And also when, that's also a difficult question to say, but as fast as we can. I'm aiming that we can get something like that out at least in 1-2 weeks, but there is nothing sure that yet. We are still we are working as fast as we can, but I really want to get that out really fast. If it was up to me, I would have it today, but time is a problem. So
Right. And then we have things like our new ARM servers now. Not having those was blocking us. So a lot of things are leading up to our release, and we're getting there.
yeah,
These are all things that will be detailed in our shiny new roadmap that isn't ready yet.
yeah.
And then that'll also help people who want to contribute to the project.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So,
a question that probably fits to the previous one. In the future legacy devices, in the official devices, there was the Nokia Here AGPS service. Will that stay in the builds? Or is there a licensing issue with that? Will they get the Firefox AGPS service instead? How will that work?
Right. I honestly haven't been looking into that. That
so
might.
we have had a developer in the community who was working on assisted GPS for the Fairphone, which might be able to work for the rest of the devices, which we need to follow up on that with him. So that's where that stands.
it should be working, but the issue is, do we want to take away here? Because if we are allowed to use here, I see no reason to take it away.
Right. Right. So if we aren't allowed to use here, then we do have something in the works. But if we're allowed to use here, it's going to stay with here.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a question mark there.
It is, yes. All right. Next, we have another question from the forums and the Telegram. This has actually been asked a few times. Will we be taking over the existing bug reports, or will everything need to be reported again? So
I would say no. We'll probably use the bug reports that's already existing.
Right.
Because one good thing also, they can be moved. But I think they should stay as is for now, because it's easier. Every link will probably link to that page. Every link inside an application, for example, will link to that. And I think we should stay that way, at least for now, and see what happens later. But maybe bigger applications like Mir and Unity 8 and those bigger ones will probably get moved to GitHub, because GitHub is a much easier platform and more developers are familiar with it, and it will also help people, at least help the project easier, get people started on developing, because easier it's much easier to do it on GitHub than it is on Launchpad, because most people know GitHub.
all right.
Okay.
Anything else on that question?
On that, I don't think so. The next question is about application development. How will we treat the lifecycle restrictions that Ubuntu Touch has currently in place? Will they stay? Will they be lifted? What will happen to that?
It's a little too early for that one, is it not?
Yeah, probably.
We don't have images out the door yet. It's not really our time to be making those decisions yet.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, yeah, wait with that. Nothing is clear yet on that. So we can't answer that.
Okay.
And if we did, it'd be making promises that we don't know if we're going to keep. So,
yeah.
Are we planning on hosting the Ubuntu documentation in our wiki? Specifically Ubuntu for devices?
No. There is no plan going on that. For now, at that point, we don't know. We can use the Ubuntu wiki, so there's no problem with using it. But I think it will be the same there. What is there already will stay there, and if there comes something new, we will probably just make it on UBports 1. I think that's how most of things will be. They will stay as it is for now. We want to use effort to move them over. But if we modify something, we probably will just move them over at the same time. But I think this is also something that's dependent on who is doing it, because someone might like the Ubuntu one better, and we can still use the Ubuntu one. So I think it will be, as now it will be probably on both places, but yeah.
That's probably also something that we will see in the future, because right now it's not the number one priority, because we have to fix all the behind the scenes stuff, and maybe it will even stay up, and then we can just use that. It's a lot less work, and
yeah,
less work for us is always good.
All right. Ah, yes. This is something that has been a very exciting topic for the project this week. How will we be involved with Project Helium, this thing that's just been announced and no one... It's mysterious. It's fun. What is it? Tell us more, Marius.
Well, I will start with what Helium is. Helium is a community effort by many people. It has exploded right now. There are so many people that have been following along and come about on this project. But mainly it started with Plasma as UBports and some guys from I think it was Sailfish, the Sailfish fan group. Was it that? Yeah, I think it was those three guys that started out, and then it just exploded with so many other people. But still, I should explain what it is. So what it is, it's an effort to make a common base, a common Hybris base where the Android parts and the Linux kernel and Hybris all are the same across every platform. So, for example, when we port one device, that device will also work across every other platform that uses Helium. And the same goes with if Plasma Mobile makes, for example, a port to Nexus 5X, it will work on our devices with Ubuntu Touch because it uses the same base. So the porting will, instead of each project porting their own devices and doing exactly the same work but doing it differently, and when I do it differently, we can't use it. And that's the point of it, is to have one standard method of doing it, and then every other project can use that method.
Right. So it's basically a culmination of the efforts of all of these different projects that are currently putting Linux OSs on phones. So that's Plasma Mobile. I'm just trying to think of the ones who have actually said that they are in. Plasma Mobile, Ubuntu Touch. We have
Sailfish.
Who else do we have? Sailfish?
Yeah.
Sailfish officially said it though.
Yeah.
I think they wanted they want to see the proof of concept first.
Right, Yola want to see a proof of concept, but we have people in the Sailfish community. So.
Right.
I think they are currently developing on the Nexus 5. Is that right? The prototype?
Yes. So their first target device is the Nexus 5, and they will be running an Ubuntu rootfs on it. Correct?
Right. Yep. Ubuntu. But what we mean with Ubuntu rootfs is it's a sandbox environment. It's a test proof of concept. There's nothing there. There's just for us to test. It's not like it has to use Ubuntu. This is just for the developers to test out when you are developing on Helium. You can run this test rootfs or sandbox rootfs, as we call it, where we can test libhybris, where we can test if media, if graphics works, if whatever works. So it's nothing that you have to use. This is the rootfs is just to test. There's nothing more than testing with that.
Right. And then from there, different distributions can choose to build off of Helium.
Yep.
So, all right. Is there anything else anyone wants to say on Helium? Am I pronouncing Helium right?
Yeah. Or some I would say Helium, since it's Android Hall, so it's Helium. Yeah, that's probably the correct one.
It's all very clear to me now.
Yeah.
I get it now. Oh boy.
Android HAL is the hardware abstraction layers. That's right.
Yep.
Okay.
So libhybris is a way to use Android drivers in a Linux system.
Basically, yeah.
And Helium is a standard way to use Android drivers on libhybris in a Linux system, so that everyone isn't duplicating their work.
Right. Yeah.
So, I don't have any more lists of questions here.
No, there's another one on the Telegram channel. It's about multi-ROM support on the 1+1, and maybe we can talk about multi-ROM support in general.
Right. A more official statement on it.
Yeah.
There is nothing. I haven't been working on Multiroom for a good while. I think it's a year ago since I even touched Multiroom. So there is nothing ongoing work on that. There's not something I think we should focus on either. I think this will something that Holium will take care of, since this is something in Holium's spectrum, I would say. Since we won't do the boarding and those stuff anymore, probably, that will all be handled by Holium. I think this is something that Holium also will take care of. But right now, there's no active work on it. I don't know the status of it. I haven't tested it in a while.
No. To our knowledge, it doesn't work, and we aren't working on it, so it's not officially supported by us. So if you want to install Ubuntu Touch and you have Multiroom, you're going to have to pick one OS.
Something that might also help with that at some point in the future is Nbox eventually coming to Ubuntu Touch. So we might have Android app compatibility at some point. It's not set in stone yet, I think. But if it comes, then you probably won't have to multi-boot anyway. So
that'll be the day.
It's not.
We're dreaming now.
It's not if. Sure. It's when. I had to say.
All right. So, in short, that will be Halien's problem if they so choose to support multi-ROM. So that's all dependent on that community at this point.
Yeah.
And what they decide on. And I don't believe they're discussing that yet, because that's out of their scope for right now.
Yeah, their main focus now is to get the Android to working and also get something working at all. I don't think they should focus on Multiroom or even how to install it yet. So.
All right. My board is clear of questions.
Yeah. Mine too.
Really? Do we want to have any calls to action? Any call for help? I sure do.
Yeah, you go first.
All right. So, anyone who has been in Telegram this morning knows that we just said we are redesigning our UBports website, and it really needs it. So, if anyone wants to try that out, there is a GitHub branch. It's a npm. What is the name of the software?
It's
Node.js and Pug. It's written in Pug.
And Express.
Yeah. It's a website written in Pug, and so it's really easy to get started on your computer, get it built, and test it out yourself. So if anyone would like to help out with that, we definitely need that. Link will be in the video description to that specific repository. Just file issues or bring in pull requests if you have any, and thank you all.
Right, and I also want to call help for someone that writes Groovy that wants to help us write a SDL plugin for Jenkins to allow us to import things from devices from GitHub instead of us creating one job for each device and for each project. I think that's the hard way of doing it. If you can just make a file in GitHub that just specify all the devices that we need and just build it automatically, that would be awesome.
Okay. And is there anything else? Do we need infrastructure-wise, other than that?
For infrastructure-wise, what we need to get things going really is a system image manager. What I mean is a system image manager is a manager that can just keep track of the updates and push updates from the different channels, promote images, and revert back if something happens. And just in general, a place that you can easily go in, press one button or send one command, and it will promote images or build a new one, and just a place to make it a lot easier than it is now. Now it is a huge pain to update.
All right. So, in different wording, what we're looking for is a program that can hook into our system image server that will promote, demote images from our developer channel to the slower moving channels.
Right.
As well as perform other housekeeping type tasks. So if you would like, or you have any ideas about that, let us know, because that'd be great.
No PHP. No PHP.
That's only a requirement by you, not the rest of us.
Okay.
All right.
I think we can.
Are we clear?
Yeah, I think we can end early today.
Yeah.
Early. We didn't have a specified time frame.
Well, the last two Q&As were about 60 minutes, so.
All right. Are there any more questions from the Telegram room? Has anyone been watching the live chat? Be honest.
Oh yes, there's one just came in. No, seriously, it just came in. I was watching it. Will you continue the project with Unity 8 or Unity 7? Oh, that's a weird question.
Unity 8. Unity 8, definitely, because we have to. Unity 7, no.
And
right. So
the phone is already working with Unity 8, so it would make no sense to use Unity 7 for that.
And Unity 7 doesn't converge.
Yeah, it doesn't converge, and it will still be supported by Canonical at least until 2021. So there's really no need for that.
Yep. All right. And we'll just wait a little bit more, see if there's any other questions we have around here. But I'm not seeing anything. So, where can the good people get in touch with us?
We mostly hang out on Telegram. I think that's our main messaging platform at this stage. And the Telegram group is ubports.com/telegram, and you can join it. You can also go to forums.ubports.com. And also we have our mailing list at Launchpad.
All right. I see that heart from you in the UBports group. Heart right back to you. And I think that's all we have for today. So, thank you all for coming out. We will be back in 2 weeks. Just listen up to those Telegram groups and the forum for the announcement there. Also, watch out for our project roadmaps and any other updates we will be bringing out on the blog at blog.ubports.com. So, you all have a great day. Thank you for watching.
Goodbye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.